Chosen one. The great prosperity you have been waiting for may not be somewhere distant and beyond your reach. It may already be beginning to appear around you in small forms that you have not yet recognized. I want you to pause, not so that you can chase a promise that carries you into fantasy, but so that you can look upon your life with new eyes. You are not empty, forgotten, or destined always to remain behind everyone else. Within you are abilities, lessons, relationships, and ideas that can become the foundation of significant expansion if you learn to recognize, cultivate, and use them wisely. Lasting wealth does not always begin with a sum of money that astonishes everyone. Sometimes it begins with a clear thought arising in the middle of an ordinary day, a skill you decide to study seriously, a person you meet at the proper time, or a small door leading toward a much wider road. Do not despise what appears simple today, because many great structures began with a single stone that others easily stepped over. I know that your present circumstances have repeatedly told you the opposite. You looked at the payments that had to be made, the plans that were delayed, and the efforts that had not been recognized, and you wondered how an expansive future could emerge from such a restricted present. You worked, hoped, and attempted to change. Yet there were seasons when everything still appeared motionless. Within that silence, doubt attempted to enter and tell you that you had missed your time, that others had traveled too far ahead, and that no opportunity remained for you. But, my beloved, a season without visible fruit does not mean your ground has died. Roots often grow most powerfully during the period when no one can see them. The years in which you learned perseverance, managed scarcity, rose after failure, and continued living uprightly were creating the strength that future success will require. If something great arrived before you learned how to manage it, it might leave your hands as quickly as it appeared. Therefore, do not pray only to receive more. Become someone capable of preserving, developing, and using what is given responsibly. The blessing you imagine may be much broader than money. It may be the freedom to stop living under the continual pressure of scarcity, the ability to help your family without exhausting yourself, or the power to choose work that fits rather than accepting anything merely to survive. It may also be influence that allows you to open roads for others, create employment, share knowledge, or build something useful that endures. If you see wealth only as a number, you may receive much and still live in fear. But if you understand prosperity as the ability to manage time, wisdom, finance, and trust, well, you will not merely seek to possess more. You will know how to make what you possess create value. I do not want you to become someone who owns much, but remains inwardly anxious. I want you to possess a steady foundation, so that even when circumstances change, you still know how to think, adjust, and continue building. Look carefully at the seeds already in your hands. Perhaps you regarded one of your abilities as too ordinary to deserve development. Perhaps others repeatedly come to you for advice, ask you to solve a problem, or trust the way you notice what they overlook. These recurring experiences may be showing you the value you can bring into the world. Perhaps you have carried an idea for many months, but continually postponed it because it seemed too small. I tell you that an idea does not need to be perfect before it begins. It only needs one responsible first step. Write it down. Study it. Test it within a safe scope. And allow reality to teach you what needs adjustment. Do not wait for complete certainty, because clarity often comes after you begin walking rather than before. But you must also remain alert before promises of sudden wealth. The desire to transform your life may make you vulnerable to opportunities that seem too perfect. People who demand money before you understand what is happening, or plans built upon haste and fear of missing out. What is good does not need to manipulate you through pressure. If an opportunity involves finances, examine its source. Read every term. Ask someone qualified, and use only an amount you could bear to lose. Do not borrow recklessly merely because someone says, "This is your final opportunity." Do not hand control of your finances to a person only because they know how to speak in a way that excites you. I want you to enter expansion through wisdom, not walk into a trap decorated with hope. Your preparation must begin through practical actions. Know clearly where your money is going, what is genuinely necessary, and which habits are quietly causing your resources to leak away. Learn to plan. Set aside something for emergencies. Reduce expenses that no longer serve your goals. And address debt through a clear strategy. These steps may not feel glorious, but they are evidence that someone is becoming ready for increase. If you cannot care for a small stream, a large river may overwhelm you. Discipline does not take freedom away. It creates freedom by preventing every unexpected event from throwing you into panic. Every small amount you manage well today is teaching your hands how to hold something greater tomorrow. I also want you to change the way you think about delay. Not every obstacle is sent to test you, but every obstacle can teach you something if you are willing to observe. A failure may reveal which skill is still missing. An unsuccessful project may teach you about the market, other people, or your own limitations. A closed door may force you to discover a more suitable road. Do not romanticize suffering, but do not allow it to become wasted either. Take the lesson without carrying the sentence. You may admit that you made an unwise decision while still believing that you can do better. Financial maturity does not come from never making mistakes. It comes from refusing to repeat them merely because shame prevents you from looking directly at what happened. A new connection may also become a turning point. This person may not bring money, but may bring perspective, skill, or an introduction that opens another road. Therefore, build relationships sincerely, rather than approaching people only when you need a benefit. Learn to listen, contribute, and keep your word. A trustworthy reputation is built slowly, but it may open doors that talent alone cannot open. When you say that you will do something, complete it. When you do not know, be honest. When you are wrong, correct it. People with resources often seek not only those who are capable, but those who can be trusted when pressure appears. Your character will determine whether an opportunity merely visits or remains for a long time. My child, do not allow the dream of wealth to make you forget why you desire it. If your only goal is to prove something to those who once looked down upon you, even success will still leave them controlling you from a distance. If you want more, only to fill an emptiness within, you will never feel that you possess enough. Decide what you want to build, whom you want to support, and what kind of life you desire to protect. When purpose becomes clear, money becomes a tool rather than a master. You will know when to invest, when to restrain yourself, when to give, and when to refuse. Mature prosperity does not boast loudly. It creates stability, expands choices, and leaves something good for those who come after. Therefore, receive this reminder, not by writing a number in a comment, but through a concrete decision. Begin the work you postponed. Research the idea you carry. Correct one financial habit, and contact someone who can help you understand what you do not know. Pray, but also plan. Hope, but also develop your abilities. Remain open to opportunities, but do not neglect verification. I, Michael, remind you that significant expansion is not only something that falls upon you from outside, it is also the process of becoming wise enough to recognize it, courageous enough to step toward it, and disciplined enough to preserve it. What you have long desired may already have begun as a very small seed. Care for it faithfully, because what you do consistently and quietly today may become a source of prosperity that changes not only your life, but also the lives of those you will support along the road ahead. I will lead you into this new season, but you must be willing to listen and follow guidance without allowing fear to stand between you and what is opening. Fear will attempt to persuade you that everything is moving too quickly, that the goodness before you exceeds your ability to receive it, or that you should step backward to avoid another disappointment. But, my beloved, what appears sudden to your eyes does not mean it has only just begun to be prepared. There are things I have quietly arranged across months, years, and even periods when you believed no progress was occurring. When you saw only repeated days, I was laying a foundation. When you believed a door had closed forever, I was redirecting you away from a road incapable of bringing you to the proper place. When you thought you were being delayed, I was helping you become mature enough that what was approaching would not overwhelm you and cause you to lose yourself. There will be moments when everything moves faster than your mind can fully understand. An opportunity may appear suddenly. A decision may need to be made within a short time. Or new circumstances may require you to step away from what is familiar. You may feel both joyful and anxious, because your heart desires to advance while memory still repeats the times you were hurt. But feeling overwhelmed is not proof that you are unprepared. It may simply mean that you are entering a place wider than anything you have experienced. A person who has lived for a long time in a small room needs time to adjust when stepping beneath a wide sky. Light may cause the eyes to ache for a moment, but this does not mean you should return to darkness. Remain still, breathe, and give yourself time to adjust to what is new. Growth initially feels unfamiliar because you are no longer responding according to old patterns. Previously, when something good approached, you may have immediately searched for reasons to distrust it. When someone presented an opportunity, you wondered what they wanted from you. When a door opened, you feared that it would close the moment you stepped forward. These reactions were formed during seasons when you needed to protect yourself. So I do not condemn you for once living this way. Yet what helped you survive cannot continue governing your future. I am teaching you to receive without panic, observe with wisdom without destroying goodness through endless suspicion, and remain careful without assuming that every gift is a trap. Anchor your heart in faith, but do not understand faith as closing your eyes to reality. Mature faith listens, verifies, and walks calmly. When standing before a decision, ask whether it aligns with clean and honest values. Look at the fruit it creates. Does it bring greater order, responsibility, and inward peace? Or does it only create temporary excitement followed by confusion? What I lead you toward may require courage, but it will not force you to betray your dignity. It may stretch your abilities, but it will not require you to become false in order to be accepted. If your heart remains quiet, discernment will help you distinguish between a step of faith and an impulsive action born from fear of missing out. What is approaching will not only change you, it will create movement in the relationships and environments around you. Some people will rejoice when they see you developing because they sincerely desire goodness for you. Others may become uneasy, not because you are doing something wrong, but because your change requires them to adjust the way they have always seen you. Someone accustomed to your continual surrender may become confused when you establish boundaries. Someone who depended upon your insecurity may react when you stop asking permission to live truthfully. Someone accustomed to the fearful version of you may call your new steadiness arrogance. Do not allow their confusion to become doubt within you. You are not called to explain every movement to everyone. Some people are mature enough to listen, while others ask questions, only to find a reason to prevent you from moving forward. Recognize the difference. You do not need to reveal every plan before it has time to develop roots. Not everyone possesses the ability to protect what you are building. Let your actions speak instead of declarations. Let your peace confirm the direction. When change is genuine, it will become visible in the way you manage responsibility, treat others, and preserve humility even when greater opportunities appear. You do not need to win every argument. Time and results will clarify what words cannot persuade. You once prayed for change. There were nights when you desperately wanted something to move, and mornings when you were exhausted because everything still appeared the same. Now, as what you requested begins drawing near, do not unconsciously push it away merely because it does not carry the form you imagined. The opportunity may not come from the person you expected. The new door may not resemble the old plan. What I give may not satisfy the ego, but it may serve a deeper purpose. Do not judge the gift only by its outer appearance. Ask whether it helps you mature, use your abilities, and enter a more upright life. What fits you may not immediately create great attention. It may simply bring a quiet peace through which you know that you no longer need to run. Do not shrink back into your former thinking when circumstances begin expanding. You cannot enter a new room while still carrying the belief that you do not deserve to be present. You cannot manage a significant opportunity through the habit of continually belittling yourself. Nor can you build healthy relationships while believing that love always comes with anxiety, control, and instability. I am leading you into a period that requires a new way of thinking. You must learn to receive without guilt, say no without condemning yourself, and move forward without continually looking backward to see whether others approve. External change can last only when you allow inward change to accompany it. Trust the process, because no lesson you endured was wasted. Waiting taught you patience. Rejection helped you recognize where you truly belong. Difficult relationships taught you to distinguish love from dependence. Failure helped you understand that one outcome cannot define your entire worth. As the pieces begin connecting, you will recognize that what once seemed unclear is forming a very distinct path. You do not need to understand everything today. Remain faithful to the clearest step before you, and the next will appear when you are close enough. I am not bringing something new to confuse you. but to lift you beyond the limitations that held you for too long. If you feel uneasy, pause and listen, but do not immediately turn back. Some uneasiness is a warning, while some appears simply because you are leaving what is familiar. Distinguish them through their fruit. A genuine warning usually identifies something specific that needs examination. Former fear merely shouts that you will fail without offering any clear truth. Do not allow the vague voice of the past to become louder than the evidence of your present growth. You have survived many things you once believed you could not bear. You are no longer someone who is easily broken by change. I am not repeating former cycles. I am bringing you into a new place where you must respond with maturity rather than defensiveness, peace rather than panic, and trust rather than the need to control. If you carry the thinking of scarcity into a season of expansion, you will always fear that everything will be taken away. If you carry unrecognized wounds into a new relationship, you may distrust even someone who treats you sincerely. Therefore, keep your heart open yet awake. Give the new an opportunity to reveal itself without making it pay for the mistakes of the past. You do not need to abandon wisdom. You only need to stop using defensiveness as the only way to feel safe. You are standing at the proper time, neither earlier nor later than your growth required. What was delayed will gradually reveal its meaning. The years that seemed motionless developed endurance, understanding, and the ability not to be deceived by appearances. When the door opens, you will understand why it could not have opened years ago. You will recognize that if it had arrived too early, you might have handled it through fear, lost it through insecurity, or used it to seek approval rather than serve purpose. But now you have been prepared more deeply than you know. Therefore, move forward with gentle confidence. You do not need to pretend that you are stronger than you are, nor must you know the entire road. Listen, observe, pray, and act when what is right becomes clear. Do not allow the doubts of others to pull you back toward a place from which I have already led you. Do not allow the speed of change to persuade you that you are incapable. I am going before you, placing light upon each step and causing disconnected pieces to come together. Trust the timing, trust the process, and above all, trust me. What is approaching is not intended to make you lose direction. It is returning you to the proper road, opening a wider life, and proving that your waiting was never meaningless. You were prepared quietly for something capable of standing for a long time, while many people hurried after success that shines briefly and then fades. I know there were days when you looked around and felt like someone being held back, while others were repeatedly seen, recognized, and advanced toward the positions you desired. But the hidden place was not where I forgot you. It was the workshop in which I strengthened your inward foundation so that it would not collapse when greater responsibility was placed upon it. During months when nothing appeared to move, you learned faithfulness without applause, perseverance without guaranteed results, and how to preserve goodness within yourself despite many reasons to become bitter. These lessons did not create immediate glory, but they were forming someone capable of carrying increase without being led astray by the increase itself. Therefore, what is about to be placed before you is not merely a generous gift or an accidental opportunity. It carries purpose, responsibility, and an invitation to see yourself in an entirely new way. You will have to stop remaining outside suitable rooms merely because you feel that others are more capable. You will have to stop speaking quietly about abilities cultivated across many years and stop disqualifying yourself before others can recognize your genuine value. I am not telling you to become proud or consider yourself greater than anyone. I am teaching you to stand upright in humility, understanding that you still have much to learn, while also possessing something valuable to contribute. The opportunity will stretch your confidence, require you to think beyond former limitations, and call you to act like someone responsible for a gift, rather than someone who needs permission from every observer before moving. Do not look at the times you stumbled and use them as evidence that you lack ability. I never choose a person only because they have never been wrong. I look at a heart willing to change, at the endurance of someone capable of rising after injury, and at the willingness to keep developing even when it requires abandoning familiar patterns. You were weak and still took another step. You were confused and continued searching for clarity. At times, hope within you became very small, but you still protected it from disappearing entirely. This quiet perseverance brought you to a new threshold. The time will come when what existed only inwardly must begin to be reflected outwardly, not as a reward for suffering, but as confirmation that your quiet choices created a person capable of managing something greater, a person with position, influence, or resources may appear as a bridge connecting you with that door. They may introduce you, offer an invitation, provide resources, or recognize an ability that others overlooked. Value their presence, but do not place all trust in that human being. A bridge helps you cross a distance, but it is not the source of water sustaining the journey. This person is a means used at a certain time, not the root of your future. If you turn their approval into your foundation, you will fear asking questions, fear saying what needs to be said, and easily compromise merely to keep the door open. Anchor your heart in me so that you may receive help without surrendering freedom. Cooperate without dependence, and remain grateful without raising a person into a position they cannot carry. When the offer arrives, receive it gratefully, but do not allow excitement to steal your discernment. Listen fully, read what needs to be read, and ask clearly about the responsibilities involved. Something genuinely good is not afraid of wise questions. If you need time to think, request it calmly. If a term is unclear, seek counsel from someone wise. You do not need to agree immediately because you fear that the opportunity will disappear. I do not lead you through pressure that requires you to betray your peace. What fits may require courage, but it will still leave clarity within. Enter with open hands and alert eyes so that gratitude does not become naivete and confidence does not become arrogance. You once asked why this could arrive only after such a long time. It is because today you have become someone capable of receiving what an earlier version of you was not steady enough to preserve. There were parts within you that desired recognition so deeply that you might have accepted any invitation merely to feel valuable. There were patterns causing you to work too much, carry the responsibilities of others, and remain silent before unfairness because you feared losing an opportunity. If the door had opened, then you might have entered believing that you had to prove yourself, quickly become exhausted, or allow louder people to determine your entire direction. Waiting gave you time to heal the fear of being overlooked. Break the habit of pleasing everyone, and learn that one person's rejection does not diminish your genuine worth. even if your outward life does not yet reflect it completely. You are very different within. You have built habits no one sees. Learn to keep promises to yourself and change thoughts that continually caused you to shrink. You have begun to recognize when to say no, when to step back and observe, and when to rise to protect what is right. I saw the times you chose discipline without inspiration, remained quiet and learned instead of reacting immediately, and continued doing what needed to be done even when you did not feel certain. Others see only the present result, but I have seen the entire process. This quiet strength makes the present time appropriate because you no longer desire only an opportunity to be seen. You are ready to use it to build something valuable. This moment is not coming to confuse you, but to help you recognize that the journey carried meaning. Yet do not expect it to arrive in an excessively dramatic form. The road toward the offer may begin through something entirely ordinary, someone asking about your work, an invitation to attend a meeting, an unexpected conversation, or a small change in the schedule. What you need is not tension that attempts to decode every detail, but attentive presence. Listen carefully when others speak. Notice ideas that return repeatedly, and observe connections beginning to form. Some significant turning points are hidden within moments so humble that an impatient person will easily overlook them. Even so, do not turn every coincidence into a sign. Awareness differs from speculation. Allow time, truth, and fruit to confirm what is opening. A suitable opportunity will not only excite you, it will call you into responsibility, learning, and greater maturity. It will not require you to abandon principles in exchange for access. It may draw you beyond what is familiar, but it will not force you to betray yourself. When the pieces begin to connect, you will feel a quiet confidence rather than an emotion that makes you lose control. It will be an inward recognition that every lesson brought you nearer to this moment than you realized. Therefore, prepare now through practical action. Complete what you postponed. Reorganize the plan. Develop your skills. And honor your present commitments faithfully. You cannot pray for a new door while neglecting what is already in your hands. Readiness is not merely a feeling. It is visible in the way you organize your life, manage time, and care for the gifts you already possess. When someone influential appears, you do not need to impress them through an exaggerated image. Bring honesty, preparation, and the ability to listen. The right person will not only be drawn to potential, but will also recognize the character formed during seasons when no one noticed. My beloved, I did not preserve you in darkness merely to abandon you there. I used the hidden place to teach what outward glory could not teach. Now, as the time approaches, rise with a steady inner life. Do not return to shame when you are seen, and do not allow recognition to make you forget where you came from. Regard the person who opens the door as a companion for one part of the road, not the owner of your destiny. Receive the offer with gratitude. Examine it through wisdom, and enter if truth and peace confirm it. Then what changes will not be merely your external circumstances. You will recognize that the years that appeared silent created precisely the person required to carry what is approaching.